Miracle Thorpe, Jay, Nate, George, Bobby, and Kelsey. And I am doing my speech on childhood obesity. So to start with my previous statement, diseases such as diabetes and hypertension have an onset during childhood. And so with that being said, how can we make a difference so that these chronic illnesses are no longer a problem? So let's start with the audience as well. Like, what did y'all eat growing up?
What you eat when you grew up? Hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, anything fast, easy, ravioli, beef roni, all that stuff.
All kind of junk food, basically.
Yeah.
So y'all would not consider that a well-balanced meal, correct?
No.
Correct.
So what do you consider a well-balanced meal?
All the food groups. You got your grains, your vegetables, your dairy.
Your protein, your carbs, your
Yeah.
vitamins, your water.
Okay. So let's start off also that obesity is when there is a BMI at or above the 95th percentile for children and teens of the same age and sex. So obesity will be characterized above being overweight. So overweight, but even more overweight. So these children will probably be more, cheeks are more puffy. Maybe their skin may not look as healthy as other children. And this is all due to the fact that they are eating unhealthy foods all the time. And so some of the contributions to this as well could be their community that they live in. People of a lower socioeconomic status tend to live more closer to fast food places than farmers markets or grocery stores where they can buy fresh produce and healthier options. And then also, if a child does come from a family that has overweight people in it, then they also can inherit that genetically, and that will cause them to be overweight as well. There are some scenarios in which some of these kids do not gain weight like their family will. And so if we look here, we can actually see the prevalence of obesity based on age, and their age categories are 2 to 19 years. So for boys and girls, you can see that girls tend to have more of a higher weight gain than boys, and that is at the age between 12 and 19. And that could be understandable due to the fact that working and being in school can cause, stress, and then eating out all the time, especially getting to being independent and they can make their own food choices instead of eating exactly what is at home, versus why 2 to 19 years is tend to be somewhat lower, but not too much, because they are also eating what the family is giving them instead of making their own choices. So 2 to 5 years is the lowest in this category. And then we also have the prevalence of obesity based on race. And as you can see, our categories are non-Hispanic white, non-Hispanic black, and non-Hispanic Asian and Hispanics. And the category with the highest are Hispanics, and that's because their diets have more high calories and just not as healthier as other options. And then Asians, of course, will probably have the lowest because they do eat a diet that does contain lower calories, more proteins, and just a lot of more fresher food options. But non-Hispanic blacks are second to highest because of the diet they consume as well, which is not as healthy. And then non-Hispanic white, they are lower, but still not as low as Asians because they do still eat a diet that is not as healthy as Asians, of course. So then other problems that people with obesity have to deal with, as said before, is hypertension and diabetes. We are seeing kids deal with these problems early on instead of later on in their adulthood as it was thought to be as. And then of course behaviors influences, so like sitting at home, watching TV, playing video games, and just not going outside and taking the time to actually be active. And then according to Mayo Clinic, candy and desserts and also sugary drinks have been proven to be the leading cause to gaining weight in children and other people. So then we do have programs and initiatives. So Children's Healthcare of Atlanta have Jumpstart Healthy Eating Habits at Home. So this will be done mostly by getting the entire family on board. Take one positive step at a time. So don't just cut out everything. Like, just cut out some stuff each step at a time. Be a role model for help at home. So this goes to the parent to make those choices for their children. Ask for help. If a parent does not know what they should give their child, there are plenty of sources they can go out into their community and definitely ask what they should be feeding their child, or like how to make better food options. And then of course, ready, set, go ahead and make the initiative to start on this healthy journey. And then some other suggestions would be to fill your plate half with vegetables and fruit more so than carbs and protein. Limit screen time, like I said before, instead of sitting at home watching TV. Drink more water and limit sugar drinks. Be active for about 60 minutes a day. And so this goes again that they want you to eat more fruits and vegetables on your plate. So instead of getting a side of fries, possibly get a side of fresh fruits. And then also, instead of sitting at home, a child can also get involved in sports, which is a fun way to be active. And that way they can get their 60 minutes a day of physical activity. And so then we have 10 tips on cut back on your kids' sweets from chooseyourplate.gov. So then they say serve small portions, sip smarter, use the checkout lane that does not display candy, so that way you won't be tempted to get candy. Choose not to offer sweets as rewards, make fruit the everyday dessert, make food fun, encourage the kids to invent new snacks, play detective in the cereal aisle, make treats and not everyday foods that they're eating. And if kids don't eat their meal, they don't need a sweet to actually make them eat their meal. So just try to cut all of that out. And that will be the end of my presentation.